Ezra Butler, 1938 Media. I am sitting here at FOWA 2009 with Ryan Carson, a.k.a. the founder of Carsonified.
Carsonified, baby.
Carsonified. And and FOWA, for those who have no clue, is the future of web apps. Now, we're actually going to be posting this in two different places.
Nice.
It's going to be posted on 1938media.com. And it's going to be posted on AudienceConf. Which is the audience conference, which is being thrown in New York.
Oh yeah,
November 5th and 6th.
Yep.
And it's basically about how to talk to your audience. We have Dan Farber, we have Michael Arrington, we have a bunch of other people who I cannot remember their names, and I'm not going to make a fool of myself and pretend to.
Nice.
And the question is, which I want to ask you. You run future of web apps, future of web development, design. What else?
We also are working with Stack Overflow and doing Stack Overflow Dev Days, which is a 10-city tour around the world, really. It's basically for web developers. So, and we also do smaller workshops. So we're basically a tech event company. Okay, so every single person that comes through these doors is trying to make a product, basically. Pretty much, in some respects, yeah. Either they're trying to market it, or they're trying to develop it, or something. So really, they all have an audience. Right, that's true, actually, yeah. So, like, I was saying with Francisco yesterday, and he's got this kick-ass framework, whatever. I mean, it's just amazing. I love it. And he said on stage something which I asked him about, but I want to get your viewpoint on this because people talk to audiences. He said, my audience basically said that we want a web app that looks like this, this, and this. Right. And then when he actually did what they wanted, they said, yeah. Wait, never mind. So developing with an audience in mind, tell me some of your thoughts on that. Well, I think you have to be a humble person. That's kind of the first thing. You gotta be willing to admit you were wrong. So, but ironically, you can't go too far with that because that could also kill you. A lot of people look at people like Steve Jobs, who have acted very much as a dictator in their company, determining exactly where they're going to go, and basically ignoring their users, saying, you might want this button here, but it's never going to happen, sorry, because we think we know what's best for you. So it's actually a balance. I mean, you need to be humble enough to admit you were wrong if you were wrong. At the same time, be bold enough to execute a plan. And it's kind of hard. I think most people don't get it right. So you see people from lower level, one-stop shops like you showed in your thing yesterday, that like 90% of the people here work for themselves and are bootstrapped and whatever, to I'm assuming that you've worked with larger companies as well. And do you see any difference in the interaction which these various levels of companies have with their audience, basically saying, give us feedback, and and going from the single user, wow, this user told me this user told me this, to the 30% of our users said this as a block. I think so. Yeah, we worked with companies, as big as Microsoft, and all the way down to one-man bands. And I find that the bigger the company gets, unfortunately, the further they get from their customers and their audience. Realistically, they may never even meet them, Whereas that's what I love about running conferences. You meet real people. You can see your customers. You hang out with them, you drink beer with them, you go, you dance with them. Last night. Of that. I love that. It's very, but it's weird though because you don't see them at all for the first 6 months, and then you see them all in 2 days. And I think it's important to stay physically connected with your audience. Talk to them actually, and either in person or on the phone once in a while. If you have a web app or a website or a conference or whatever, just make sure that you're actually talking in real life to the real people that are using your products or your services. I think that's really important. Well, one last thing, which is something which
I have to admit that I haven't used so much. However, something that I'm impressed by, you're trying to engage your audience at at FOWA with this new thing called Hello App.
Yeah.
Which you created, which it's really not you engaging with your audience. It's making sure that the audience engages with each other.
Totally.
That can you say why you do this?
Well, yeah. So Hello App is basically like, hey, say what seat you're sitting in at the conference, or you have a diagram of the seating chart, and then you pick a seat and you say you're sitting in, and then you can start seeing who's sitting around you. And I think it's just to kind of help break the ice. It's you're never ever gonna talk to the person in front of you, next to you, and behind you.
Actually, I do.
Well, you do. You're different, but most people don't. They're too embarrassed. It feels weird. So it gives you an excuse. I mean, if you click on the person next to you, you can kind of see, oh, they've tagged themselves with piano. I play piano. Oh, hey, so you play piano?
That's kind of scary.
In my
own estimation.
Well, no, but I mean, it's not scary because everyone's used to having no privacy, right? And also, you've chosen to give away your privacy, right? It would be creepy if you hadn't chosen to do that. But the point is, physical conferences are still pretty archaic. I mean, the format hasn't changed for 50 years, and we just think there's probably a lot of room for innovation with that. So that was the idea, and don't know if it's going to work. It's the first time we've done it, so we'll see.
Very cool.
Thank you.
With Ryan Carson, I'm Ezra Butler from 1938 Media and Audience Conf. See you when? Miami?
Soon in Miami.
Is that going to be FOWA?
FOWA.
FOWA. Awesome.